What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I think is the best shotgun in Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 2, and that is going to be the new Chaos Reloader shotgun. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below which shotgun is your favorite this season, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, it is EvolveJake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So the Chaos Reloader shotgun is a new shotgun that was added to the loot pool this season. And then we also have the twin hammer shotguns and iron pump shotgun returning from last season. And as far as I know, neither of these shotguns were adjusted stat-wise. It's just the Chaos Reloader shotgun is so good that it has overtaken them. And if you guys played during the Star Wars Galactic Battle season, this Chaos shotgun is going to remind you a lot of the Jawa shotgun. Okay, because this shotgun has to reload after every single shot. It only has one hard-hitting shot, and then you have to reload. But it actually reloads on its own. It doesn't need to be equipped. So you can play this very similar to how you would play with the Jawa shotgun in Star Wars, since instead of needing to be reloaded, it overheated. That's basically how this one works as well. And so you can just shoot this shotgun, swap to a spray weapon, hopefully get the kill that way, because your shotgun shot should hit really hard to the point where the opponent should only take a few shots of your spray. But even if you don't finish them that way, you do have the option to swap back to the shotgun once it's reloaded. If your first shot didn't hit hard enough, basically. And so while it does have only one shot, you can play it like it's a pump. And with the Jawa shotgun, the overheating time took quite a while. And so you typically needed to finish the fight on your spray. That isn't the case with this one. It actually does reload pretty quick. So it isn't that uncommon to be able to shoot it twice in a single, 1v1 fight. And it, like I said, it shouldn't take more than one shot usually, because the damage is really good and really consistent. But it is Fortnite at the end of the day. And so, weird things happen, or the damage, gets inconsistent. It is what it is. But most of the time, you should be able to hit one hard pump shot, swap to the spray, get the kill that way. One difference between this Chaos shotgun and most other shotguns in Fortnite that might be throwing you off if you aren't aware of it is that this shotgun doesn't actually benefit from headshots very much. I'll have the stats on screen now, and you can see, it changes by rarity, but for most rarities, it's about a 10 to 15 damage increase for headshots, and that normally isn't the case. Shotgun damage in Fortnite usually benefit a lot from headshots, and so to get like a good hard-hitting shot, you need to hit a headshot with most of your pellets hitting. With the Chaos shotgun, headshots aren't really a game changer, and with how shotguns work in Fortnite, you get damage based on how many pellets you hit. And so oftentimes going for headshots, not only is it going to be a harder hitting shot, but you run the risk of hitting less pellets. So it's like a risky shot. If you hit a lot of pellets and your aim is good, you'll get really good damage. But if your aim isn't the greatest and you don't hit a lot of pellets, you'll get really mid damage. And that's why you see a lot of people saying, like, how did my shotgun hit for 20 when it was, gold? It's because they hit like one pellet to the head and then, got underwhelming damage because of that. With this shotgun, it kind of encourages you to not go for headshots, because the reward isn't that high. Like I said, the damage was only like 10 or 15 more. The reward isn't very good, while the risk is still there. So you're better off just not taking the risk with this shotgun, going for the body shot, because it has really good base body shot damage. And then you can hit as many pellets as possible. It's really easy to hit max pellets when you're shooting somebody in the torso. Whereas when you're shooting somebody in the head, you probably need to aim in to tighten that reticle. You need to have a good angle. Probably need to be pretty close to them. There's a lot that needs to happen to hit a max damage headshot, or like all pellets to the head. There's not a lot that has to happen to hit all to the body. And because the gain on headshots isn't very high, you're best just going for body shots with this one and getting that good, like, guaranteed chunk damage. You'll get really good damage regardless, so you should just go for bodies. And that makes this weapon really easy to use and really dangerous to play around, because pretty much everybody is going to be hitting hard shots all the time. Once you hit your shot, let's say you hit, 150-ish damage, you could swap to some sort of spray weapon and then likely just finish the kill this way. Because if you hit a decent shot with this, you're going to get around 150-ish damage. And the spray weapons we have in the loot pool right now, like the pistol and Thunderburst SMG, can very, very quickly deal 100 damage. Oftentimes, before this shotgun is ready to shoot again. And that's why I was saying you shouldn't need multiple shots most of the time. So this gun is kind of a bailout. It is very easy to use. It's very easy to just get consistently good damage with. If you are going for the body shots. And the range on it is also incredible, and that's another thing that kind of adds to its consistency factor. It has really good range and a really good base damage. So as long as you're hitting a good amount of pellets, you're going to get really good damage. The main kind of problem or drawback with this weapon, not only is the single shot, which maybe you miss or maybe you hit bad damage, but also the reloading aspect of this, it seems bugged. It seems like there's times where it doesn't reload on its own when it's supposed to, and then you end up swapping to it and it isn't ready to fire yet. And it could be hard to know like 100% of the reason why like a bug is happening in Fortnite, because there's so many different things going on at once. But it seems like with this shotgun, if you swap too quickly after shooting it, it doesn't actually start to reload on its own when it's not equipped. So it's like you need to kind of start the reload animation with the weapon still out, and then you can swap to your spray and then swap back to it. And it's not like you need to dedicate a lot of time to this. Just a few milliseconds on like holding off on your swap can be all it takes to actually, you know, initiate the reload. I've also heard that this happens more with the gold version rather than the other rarities of it, and that may or may not be true. As I said, it could be difficult to know the exact reason why this happens, but I have been able to replicate it just shooting on my own, trying to make it happen by swapping way too quickly after shooting. So just, you know, add a bit of delay before you swap to your spray weapon, hesitate a little bit, again, not a large amount of time, just a few milliseconds, and then hopefully, you know, you won't bug the reload. The Mythic version that you can get from defeating the Dark Voyager boss has 2 shots, which is super busted. But it won't actually start reloading on its own until the second shot is fired. And I believe this is intentional. I think that just kind of makes sense. It starts to reload on its own once it's completely empty. And so I've seen people saying it's only the Mythic that has this reloading problem. That's not the case. It can happen on the other rarities too. I think when it doesn't happen with the Mythic, it's kind of intentional. One thing you can do with the Mythic, though, is start to reload it and then swap, and it will reload on its own in your inventory once you've started that animation. It just doesn't kind of like start it on its own unless it's empty. So you can reload it in your pocket with the Mythic. You just have to manually start the reload. And despite this bug, I still think this is going to be the best shotgun in the loot pool for now. Maybe it'll get nerfed. Maybe changes will happen. But as it stands now, the damage on this weapon is very good. The consistency is very good. And the ease of use is incredible. Sounds like a high-risk, high-reward weapon when it only has 1 shot. But the fact that you only need to hit a body shot makes it very easy to execute on. And so the main difficulty is just kind of avoiding that bug. And I think being aware of it is kind of the biggest thing that will help you in that regard. As I said, just kind of try to be a bit more patient before swapping to your spray weapon, and you'll probably be good to go. I've seen people say that you can kind of look at your inventory and see the icon showing that it's reloading. And while that is true, and it will kind of show you when the reload is completed so you know to swap back to it, I don't think that is something that you really want to be looking at or worrying about or like paying attention to in fights. If you're in a fight with somebody, you shoot your shotgun and then swap to your spray, and then you're just looking at your inventory, you're probably going to miss a lot of your spray shots, and it's just not ideal. So I think it's best to just kind of learn the timing of this weapon and kind of get a feel for when it's ready to shoot again, rather than like relying on that inventory. And as I've said, this weapon is very easy to use. Use a shotgun, hit a body shot, swap to your spray weapon. You're going to melt enemies incredibly quick. As always, it's ideal to get opening tags before you close into any sort of shotgun fight on an enemy. But it's also really nice with this shotgun because if you have them weak, you might just outright kill them with that first shotgun shot and then not have to worry about swapping, not have to worry about that bug, not have to worry about using your spray weapon. But it also gives them less time to shoot you back with it, which is really nice because most other players are using the shotgun. And as I've touched on a few times, it's really easy to hit hard shots with this. With the iron pump, you know, it was a hard hitting shotgun, but most of the time, if somebody was hitting you like 150 plus damage, they probably hit a good headshot. And so not everybody was going to be doing that all the time. But with this shotgun and the Jawa shotgun in the past, everybody hits really hard. And so you got to be really careful in your close range fights. And so that's why I was saying you want to get those opening tags. Not only does it make your life easier, but it gives the enemy less chance to respond to you with the shotgun of their own. And that's going to help you a lot this season because of how deadly it is. I also don't really like pushing into areas where people are hiding. So if you know somebody's hiding in a house or you know they're hiding in an underground area, it's kind of always a bad play to, you know, push in there and force that fight. But I feel like it even more so is this season because if they're hiding with the shotgun and they catch you off guard and hit a hard opening shot, which kind of guaranteed they're going to hit a hard opening shot, it could be the end of your game really quick. So try not to force fights versus people kind of hiding or, you know, playing in a very defendable area. It's always true, but it's more so true with the shotgun in the game. But that is going to be it for this video. This Chaos Reloader shotgun is incredible. It's very easy to use and very good. I definitely recommend putting the time in with it and kind of learning how to play with it, learning the timing of when you're going to be able to swap back, and building that muscle memory of kind of hesitating a little bit before you swap to your spray. That way you know, for sure make the reload happen. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Which shotgun is your favorite this season? What do you think of the Chaos Reloader shotgun? If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.